Ticket Machine is the official ticket broker of Spartan Nation. No matter what you need a ticket for, border to border, coast to coast, the Ticket Machine is your ticket source. So whether you need to get into the hottest concerts, the best sporting events, you want the best seats in the house, or you just want to get in the door, when you want to go to any event that requires a ticket, anywhere, border to border, coast to coast, it's always theticketmachine.com. Theticketmachine.com, 517-655-3201. Check it out today at theticketmachine.com.
Okay.
Host Hondo Carpenter, and we bring in, like we do every week, for our good, bad, and undecided, the one, the only, the great, Coach Chuck Grenier, legendary prep high school coach in football and basketball across the state of Michigan. Coach, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing really well today. How are you?
Well, I don't think you're as good of a friend as I've always thought you would be, because you sent me a picture. You went with me last week to interview the football coaches.
Correct.
Then you go out, kill a monster buck, and send me a picture while I'm at practice. I don't appreciate that, Coach.
Yeah, that was a good day. That was a dang good day.
Well, it was a good day for you, but it wasn't a good day for me because I didn't get to go do any hunting. I have not even put an arrow in my crossbow this fall. That is un-American and non-Christian.
Ted Nugent would be really upset with you.
Forget Ted. I'm really upset with me. All right, Coach, we're talking about the good, the bad, and the undecided. Michigan State, let's start with the good. They're 6-1, 4-0, and at the end of the day, that's what matters.
Exactly. Yeah, they are exceeding my expectations. I know not theirs, but they're exceeding my expectations. Defense has been playing pretty much lights out. Offense, they've been struggling to a point, but they get just enough done that they can get the points that they need, and it's just been a great year all around to see certain players emerge, especially the young players, and as over the course of the season, those young players seem to be really getting better and better as the season goes on.
Coach, let me just tell you, when you say that they exceeded your expectation, you don't, maybe not theirs, balderdash. I know what those people were telling me off the record privately about expectations, and there was no one in that building, I don't care who they were, that thought Michigan State would be sitting here today 6-1, 4-0 in the Big Ten. No one, period. I'm just telling you, Nobody was. I think it's been an amazing year. Coach, I want to start with just the good. And when you start with the good, I think there are a lot of different things that you can talk about. But let's start at the wide receivers, especially Felton Davis, Darrell Stewart, Hunter Rison, Cody White. Cody White moves up the depth chart. Tristan Jackson still struggling. We'll get more into him in a little bit, but when we get into some other topics. But when you talk about the good, you got to talk about those four wide receivers.
Yeah, Felton Davis, he makes these big catches. It seems like every time that he gets his hands on the ball, he scores or has some kind of impact catch. Those two freshmen last week were just phenomenal. I can't say enough about White, the couple catches that he made,
Coach,
especially in traffic.
Coach,
yeah, Felton Davis seems to be catching a lot of big passes, touchdown passes, or really tough catches. He seems to be the one to go to if you really need a tough type of catch to be made in traffic. Cody White and Hunter Rison, they're doing an exceptional job. I thought Cody White was exceptional, getting separation, catching the ball in traffic. That one catch he had there for the big catch for the first down, the guy was all over him. It didn't distract him at all. Hunter Rison doing the same thing. Stewart, the only, I know we're talking about the good at this time, but the not so good, we'll get to that a little bit later, is we got to find those guys a little more often.
I agree. You know, Coach, one of the things that Cody White and Hunter Rison do that most fans don't pick up on, and I don't even know if, because I'm at the game, so I don't even know if you can see it on your television, but those two are stone cold killers blocking. They are not afraid to hit anyone. They're not afraid to tear anyone's block off, and that's why they're moving up the depth chart, because they are valuable even when the team isn't throwing to them.
Can't run the ball unless you have the blocking downfield, keep those people off our running backs. Running backs are responsible to get to the line of scrimmage, break a tackle if they have to, and move to the second level. And if their wide receivers are blocking well at the second level, then your running game is going to take off. And, it's just like a domino theory, one thing after another. So, yeah, they're blocking downfield. And I think Coach D'Antonio mentioned that in his press conference. I can't remember that for sure. But the blocking by the wide receivers, you look at other teams in the Big Ten that are doing really well down as far as their running game and moving the ball, and that's what they have also. They have receivers that are down there and fighting like bulldogs downfield and helping out the running game.
Again, when you talk about the good, let's just say the entire defense.
Oh, defense is playing extremely well at this time. They had a problem the game before they played Indiana that was the Minnesota game, about maintaining lanes and trapping or capturing the quarterback. And they allowed that Minnesota quarterback to step forward, survey the field, and either run or pass that time. Indiana game, they kind of took care of that. They surrounded and captured the quarterback, gave him a lot of problems, changed his eye level. Defensive line was doing an outstanding job. Linebackers have been playing well all year long. Bocce, again, is playing like he's possessed by some kind of demon out there. 13 tackles. And the cornerbacks are playing extremely well. The safeties are playing extremely well. Defense is keeping them in the game. We're not scoring a lot of points, so the defense has to play really well.
All right, continuing on the good, Jake Hartbarger, I mean, you can't blame him when a punt goes in the end zone. When it bounces fair, those gunners are supposed to get it. Mike Tressel said it yesterday. Jake Hartbarger's killing it.
Yeah, the only misstep that he's had all year long that hasn't been excellent was the snap going through his hands in Minnesota. Other than that, excellent play by Hartbarger. He's kicking the ball high and long. They're not getting returns on us. He's killing the ball down inside the 20-yard line, giving them a long field to work with. Yeah, he has been exceptional all year long.
Okay, the bad, again, 2 bad games in a row with bad weather. Brian Lewerke really was not good against Indiana. We're not picking on the kid, but when you become a starter in the Big Ten, expectations rise. Poor technique, overthrowing guys, missing guys. For Michigan State to reach where they need to go, if let me rephrase that. For Michigan State to win a Big Ten title, they need a better Brian Lewerke.
No, that's a lot of truth. He's just relying too much on his arm, his ability to throw the ball. And when you do that, young quarterbacks, when they're relying so much on their arm, gunslinging so much, that what happens is the passes are, you could see that on the field. They're high and low, and they're all over the place on that, not getting people on the stride. So, yeah, he's got to, or maybe it's the play calling also that has to be involved here. I think what they have to do is kind of like scheme more that he's going to be required to sit in the pocket and start picking up secondary, third choices on throwing the ball. Maybe, get the tight end involved more in it, work on his technique, that sort of thing. But there's going to be a game coming pretty soon where they're going to have to rely on him against a top quality opponent, that if he continues these ways of losing his technique, running around trying to gunsling the ball, that it's going to cost him dearly in one of those games. So he's really got to come around and start being more of a quarterback instead of a gunslinger.
All right, the bad, Tristan Jackson just cannot get traction. We all love him. Great kid, great person. He's just not performing.
Yeah, Cody White has moved up in the depth chart, so he'll be there too. But again, they generously roll in and out their wide receivers. So Jackson will get his chances again. And maybe this is really a good thing for him. That maybe there is a pressure that's involved in his mind anyway of being a starter and getting out there and performing. Now, coming off the bench, he doesn't maybe not quite having that kind of pressure. Maybe the play call. I think he's got good speed. I think he's got good hands. I don't know about his ability to separate, but I think he's got all the variables that you need in order to be a good receiver. I think probably at this stage in his career, this stage in the football season so far, I think his worst enemy is Tristan at this time, because he's just pressing too much. And just relax, go out and have fun. Make the game fun again. Catch the ball, get a couple easy catches, a stop pattern, some out patterns. Get him involved in the game. Let him relax. I think he's going to be fine eventually here.
Lastly, let's talk about something I think that's really big, and that's kickoffs. Still struggling the bad.
It makes no sense to me. I don't want to be too hard on this one, but it makes no sense to me that if you have guys that can kick the ball in the end zone, not be out there on the field kicking it. Now, Scanlon is kicking the ball, and what is happening, you kind of like keep an eye on this one though, but the coverage, the kickoff coverage is stopping the play at the 25 to 30 yard line almost every time that they come out on those short kicks. Now, if he kicks the ball in the end zone, then the ball comes out to the 25 anyway. But the problem here, in my opinion anyway, is that you're stopping the ball at 25 or the 30 yard line with the possibility of a big run back. So if that's the case, why not bring somebody in, kick it deep, keep them on a long field? And it's just amazing that we won't go that way. I think it's got a loyalty issue there of being a senior and so on. But hey, kick the ball in the end zone. Do not allow the people to run one back on you or coverage to break down. It just seems like a no-brainer to me.
Lastly, we talk about the undecided. We got to hurry a little bit. I think the lack of usage of tight end makes no sense, and Matt Coughlin hasn't had enough kicks to be a good or a bad, but I'm excited about him. Again, two undecideds. The lack of usage of tight ends and the field goal kicker.
Every year it's the same story, it seems like. We're going to use our tight ends a lot more, and then the season progresses, and we're all sitting around talking like, how come we're not throwing to the tight end? Now, I think, and as I spoke about earlier here, if you start using those tight ends, running with stops, replacement routes, that sort of thing, that the quarterback's going to sit in there and he's going to start finding tight ends. He's going to work on his technique, going to start settling down in the pocket a bit more. I think it will be an avalanche of good happening if you start using the tight ends a lot more. Our tight ends are blocking well enough and so on, but we got to get the ball to them. Also, if you're throwing to the tight ends, your running game is going to work a whole lot better. You're going to get those linebackers to pull off and start thinking about those short routes out there and thinking about keeping their eye on them. So, we've got to start using those tight ends a whole lot more effectively than we are right now.
I agree. He is the great coach, Chuck Grenier, the good, the bad, and the undecided Spartan football. The undecided.